weird as it is, who you hang out with is one of the most important decisions that you can ever make in your young teenage years and carrying into adulthood. Hey, it's Abby J, your life coach, and today we are tackling the hard subject of what to do when your friends are bad examples, or what to do when your friends are bad influences on you. This topic to me is so important because it's so true. And if you get anything out of this video, it's this, that you are a mixture of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And so if they are bad influences on you, you better follow all of these tips, because you do not want to drag your life down, your spirituality down, your potential down, just because you were hanging out with some people that weren't the best choices of friends. So to start off today's video, I want to share with you a story that's the perfect example of bad friends and the influence they can have on your life. So I talk about this story in more depth and more details about the people you spend life with in my book called What Isn't Wrong With Me, and it's on my website, ajlifehacks.com. You can buy that, which would be amazing, or I'm going to tell you a short snippet of this story. So this happened to my dad. When he was in high school, he had this really awesome job in Salt Lake City, and he was like a hotel clerk at night. And so it would only be him running this whole hotel, and he had access to these amazing hot tubs and pools and stuff. And so some of his buddies would come and he'd let him go swim in the pool, right? Well, one day his good friends brought a kid that he really didn't know. I mean, he knew of him, right? And isn't that so typical of high school that I don't know you, I don't hang out with you, but I know your name and I kind of know a little bit about you and you're a friend of a friend. So he let him swim and hang out with stuff. And so my dad's really good friends left, and this kid, we'll call him John, I don't know his name, John stayed, and he said, Dale, that's my dad's name. He said, Dale, thanks for letting me swim, we should hang out more often, blah, 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 blah. And so they're going home, and as they start to go home, this kid gets in his car, my dad gets in his car, and this other kid starts to rev his engine and kind of act like he wants to race and stuff. And my dad goes for it, right? And so they are speeding down the freeway, and of course they get pulled over by the cops. And the cop comes to my dad's car first, and my dad says to him, Officer, I am so sorry. I know I shouldn't have been going as fast as I was. Gives him the whole spiel. And this officer is so kind and nice. And he just says to my dad, you know what? I totally get that. I'm going to give you guys a warning, but you cannot be driving that fast ever again. Scares him, but says I'm going to give you a warning. And what a relief. Have you ever been in that situation where a police officer just gives you a warning? It's thank you. But so this officer says, I gotta go talk to your friend. So he goes down and he starts talking to his friend, and my dad can see through the rearview mirror that John is getting animated. He actually gets out of his car. He starts pointing his fingers at this cop, and this cop, puts him back in the car, and he comes marching over and he hands my dad a reckless driving ticket. Do you know how much those cost? And they stay on your record for years and years and years. My dad had incredibly high insurance, for 5 years. And even when he married my mom, it was insanely high because he had this horrible ticket. And when the cop gave it to him, he said, hey, I kind of thought you were just giving me a warning. And he says, not after talking to that guy. I love sharing that story because I think it illustrates so perfectly that the people that we hang out with, bad influences or not, they can impact our life. And that ticket impacted my dad's life for 5+ years because it stayed on his record. And when he went and served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Canada, he almost was not allowed to drive a car because he had this reckless driving ticket. And so most of the time, his companion had to drive and not him because of this ticket. So all of this impacted his life because he hung out with this one guy one time, right? So it goes to show you how detrimentally important and crazy it is to have amazing friends. And if they're bad influences on you, it is going to be, like I said, detrimental to some of the things that you want to accomplish in your life. So what to do about friends that are bad influences on you? Number one, my best tip that I've got for you is to start to distance yourself. Now, this kind of feels like a no-brainer, but hear me out. It is so vitally necessary to get yourself away from the situation, especially if your friends are doing anything illegal or anything that goes against your morals. You need to distance yourself from that situation. And I am giving you full permission to tell them things such as, oh, I can't hang out with you because I've got to do some chores for my mom. They're being so mean, like I have to stay at home and grounded, right? Like, you don't have to even give them a reason and just say, you know what, I'm so sorry, guys, I cannot hang out Saturday night. Or, I know I always come to our game night on Tuesdays, but I'm failing math, and so I've got to improve that. Like, you don't even have to give them a reason, like I mentioned, but you need to distance yourself. And the reason I am giving you a couple reasons or things that you can say to them is I understand that these are still your friends. These are still people that you care about, because if they weren't, you would just say peace out, I never want to hang out with you again, right? So we don't want to sever these relationships, but we definitely have to protect yourself. And in these situations, if you ever feel like, should I be nice or should I not hang out with these people that are being a bad influence on me, always protect yourself first. You have no idea what could happen, and that's what's so terrifying, right? It could be a reckless driving ticket, oh man. It could be a reckless driving ticket, or it could be something far more detrimental to your morals and your spirituality and even your physical safety. So if you are getting that gut feeling in your chest of I know I shouldn't be doing these things, then get out of there. And there's a term going around, and it's not a very nice one, so I always say beep politeness, right? That's my version of it, of just, if you are in a situation, and especially a high pressure one, just forget about being nice and just say directly, I cannot hang out with you guys on Saturday. Tip number 2 plays right into the first tip that I had for you of distancing yourself, and that is to be direct. Now, I think that a lot of people are totally cool with the first couple times being oh, I'm so sorry I can't hang out with you Saturday, I'll have to catch you guys another time, of just being a little bit more polite about that distancing. But what's going to happen, especially over time, is you are going to get some pressure. You are going to get these friends coming up to you at school the next day and saying hey, do you not like us anymore? You aren't hanging out with us. Or they're going to just kind of put in these little zingers of just oh, you're so lame, you didn't come hang out with us, or you think you're so much better than us. You're gonna start to get this pressure. And so my answer for that is to be direct. Do not beat around the bush. I got myself in trouble in high school because I would not be direct with people. I was oh, I need to be polite. Beep politeness, right? When it comes to you, your physical safety, your spiritual safety, and your mental safety of just feeling I don't like this uneasiness, you need to put your best interests first. And I know that that's hard and that's scary, but just think about some of the things that could happen, right? And take it from personal experience that I so regret the times that I was not direct with people and said, stop, I don't like this, or I don't want to do this, right? Those are my biggest regrets. So don't have those regrets and be direct when people start to push you of why aren't you hanging out with me? Just say, you know what? I'm not liking what you guys are doing. It's not what I want for myself, and I can't hang out with you when you do those things. And my third tip for you on how to handle friends that are bad examples and bad influences on you is to focus on who you want to be. So often it is those moments of I really love this person. They're a great friend to me. We've been friends since 3rd grade, or, I used to love it when we would go and hang out on Saturdays and do this, right? I want you to know that I get that this is hard, but when you focus on who you want to be, it becomes easier, because as I've mentioned in some of my other videos on high school ends. And I have to be so honest with you that I hang out with 2, maybe 3 people that I went to high school with. And I follow all the others on social media, right? So I still am part of their lives, but truly there is 2 to 3 people that I actually hang out with and have lasting relationships that matter so much to me. And so while it feels like the stakes are so high, what's far more important is who you want to be. And if this is like really the crux of like your argument of like, I can't hang out with those people, I want you to think to yourself, I am protecting myself from possibly getting arrested, right? Or I'm protecting myself from having a bad reputation, or I'm protecting myself from falling into a bad situation, something that I would regret my whole life if I continue to like hang out with these people. So I am protecting myself from that. And that focus combined with these other tips of distancing yourself, being direct, is going to save you so much heartache and regret. Because as weird as it is, who you hang out with is one of the most important decisions that you can ever make in your young teenage years and carrying into adulthood. So there you have it. Those are my tips on how to deal with friends that are bad influences on you. And I just want to take this moment to wish you the best of luck and to let you know that I think you are so incredible for taking these steps. Because if you're watching this video, you're in this situation, right? And you're thinking to yourself, man, I love these people. My heart is actually breaking. But I want you to know that what's far more important is who you want to be and how proud you'll be of yourself on the other side of high school. Because so often we get mixed up and think that high school is the real world and that these relationships matter so much. And I just want you to know what matters the most is your relationship with yourself and keeping yourself pure, safe, like just who you want to be, like keeping yourself worthy of who you want to be. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos on personal development. And I wish you the best of luck. I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Abby J out.